this new 2018, we want to wish everybody a prosperous new year. We want to thank all our first responders out there for taking care of a lot of people that were without lights and so on and so forth throughout Texas, and taking care of and protecting us. Hats off to you guys. Today I have Councilman Alex Perez, and we're going to be talking about his new venture into stepping up into the county race for commissioner of precinct
2.
Well, number
Yeah,
one.
Precinct 2.
Thank you for being here, Alex.
Thank you.
And Councilman, explain to us why you're changing to commissioner. What do you see? What's going on?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. And it's the second day of the new year, and you guys are already hard at work. I want to wish everybody a happy New Year, of course. And the holidays are over, and now it's time to get to work again. Well, Paul, we've always been working hard here in our district, man, and hard work pays off. And you can see that in the results that we have. We've improved Slaughter Park. We've developed programs for the kids. We made that new Canizales gym, which is excellent. It's open from 6 to 3. We have over 1,000 kids at Slaughter Park, man. So it's just being overused. I think you need a full-time commissioner, somebody that's going to focus on the issues. There's a lot of issues that need attention in Precinct 2. I'm just gonna just touch on the basics. The parks are in terrible shape.
Which parks are we talking about?
Okay, I'm gonna focus on the Colonias.
Okay, let's get people and a lot of people in Laredo do not understand what the districts are. Your district, for when you're in city council, is from the old Heights, Chacon area, more or less, right?
Yeah, more or less, it's the Heights area, a part of the Heights. It's Chacon, 3 Points, Santa Fe, Santa Rita. Right. So it encompasses a big area.
A bunch of neighborhoods. Sure. And a lot of people need to understand that before you came on board, no actual councilman was beautifying or trying to better. They weren't roads-wise and so on and so forth, right? Because that's something that's needed. But you've actually beautified that area. You're making it better for people to live in.
We've been creative in the things that we do. Sometimes you say there's no money, but I'm not going to do anything. You got to get creative. One of the things that we implemented there in my district that did not take any money and it's actually going to make money for the district is an economic tool that is called the Neighborhood Empowerment Zone. Very effective economic tool, and we're pretty soon going to have a neighborhood planning. We had the master plan for the city, so now sure. The next step is the neighborhood master plan. So that's going to be next. On top of the neighborhood empowerment zone, we're hoping to implement more economic tools, and those don't cost any money. They actually attract business. They attract investment. They actually make money for the city.
And you've seen that growth there. You see new restaurants, you see new stores opening up.
The growth is to the point where we need to control it. There's actually too much, and some kind of growth that is not a desirable. But that's a whole other topic. But we have we've changed all the signs on the corners. It's called rebranding. That is something that's done in other neighborhoods. We took a little bit of heat for it, but we're changing the face of the neighborhood. And I think that is very important. The heat that we're getting is from other people. The people that are getting the signs in the neighborhood where the values are increasing, everybody, is happy. They want more. They're calling me. They're asking when their sign's going to be up and stuff. So I think we're doing good. We do take heat for certain things. I think we need to preserve historical buildings. We did that in the Canizales gym. We had the old firehouse. We made sure that we didn't touch that. We basically
that's an excellent rec center, and I know that the city's helped us out when we've had several tournaments in the past 2-3 years, and it's a great facility. And you have Champ Orlando Canizales there helping out in the mornings, and it's
world champion. He was considered pound for pound the best fighter in the world in his time. If people don't know about boxing or fighting, that is just incredible. So we have to make sure that all the kids understand that, and he's a big role model, and I thought it was important to dedicate that whole building to him. And he's there, he works from 6 to 3, and he coaches the kids, and man, that just means so much for the kids that go train. To have
awesome.
A world champion doing that for you, and he loves to do that. So yeah, it's a big deal.
Now, let's look. Now you're jumping into a commissioner spot. And there's 4 commissioners in Webb County. And your district is which one that you're going to be going to?
Yes, it's Precinct 2, which encompasses some of my area, some of the north side, and the Colonias. I guess you can say that the job of a commissioner is basically to not take care of the city. I mean, you do have a big part of the voters and a big part of the city that you actually represent. But I think the way I see it, you're in charge of the Colonias. The Colonias are a main focus, and I can tell you that the people in the Colonias need their basic services met. When I say basic services, they need good roads, they need trash pickup, they need
sewage.
They need
in some areas.
In some areas, it's getting there.
Water.
But of course, water. There's some fire hydrants that don't have water in them. There's no parks. The guys that run leagues out in the parks, they use our parks here in the city. They say that they have to maintain their own parks. They have to get their weed eaters and cut their own baseball field, stuff like that. That's a basic service that needs to be maintained. It needs to be provided. If you're going to pay taxes, they need to provide basic services.
Do they pay taxes?
Yes, of course they do.
Were they annexed for that? Because for a long time, a lot of the colonias, they didn't pay taxes. That was the biggest reason why a lot of people move out into those areas. And they stopped that. They had several laws in the ranchettes and stuff like that.
The colonias pay city taxes. I mean, they do not pay city taxes. They pay county taxes.
County taxes.
Yeah, but
now for a very long time, it's not only Huawei getting to the commissioner. All the commissioners have colonias in their areas. And the colonias in all those areas really have been forgotten in some areas. They go over there and they take them,
in some areas. Yeah.
They take turkeys to some of them, and here's a turkey, vote for me, kind of thing. And that's not what we need to do.
They have rec centers, they have activity centers, and a part of those activity centers or rec centers is giving out food. But what you need to remember is that the city pays for most of that. We give.
What do you mean the city pays for most of it?
The city gives $35,000 a year. The county provides $24,000. So we're actually providing more to those people than the county. But they actually get the credit, and it's not about that. It's not about that. That's a basic service, and that's not going to stop. That needs to be done. But it's not just about that. It's much more. You need to sit down. You need to focus on the issues, and you need to get things done. If you want the status quo, I mean, you can have the status quo. But if you want change, I mean, really, it sounds cliche. But if you want change, you need somebody that's going to sit there and going to focus on the issues, going to focus on the problems, and get it done. Right now, the big deal is the animal control. The city kills. I hate to say it, but we kill 400 animals a month. Okay, we have to euthanize them. Most of those animals come from the colonias. If you see animals that are in your neighborhood,
ferals that are gone feral,
a lot of them come from the colonias. I don't know who brings them, but they get dropped off in the neighborhoods, saying, ahí están todos los animales. You guys take care of them. But that's a big issue, and they come from the colonias. You go out to the colonias, you see dogs and cats just wild, and they're everywhere, man. And that is a problem, an issue that needs to be looked at, and it needs to be controlled. It's never gonna be resolved,
does
but it can get better.
Excuse me for interrupting. Does the county have an animal control?
I
know they had some kind of folks that would run around the county roads for animals that were in astray and stuff like that. Do they actually have an animal control system?
I'm not really sure if they do, but it's not effective. Well, I mean, whatever they're doing is not effective. We used to have a contract with them, where the city would help out the county, but that stopped. I've never gotten a call from a commissioner saying, "Hey, let's work together on this. Let's do this." And part of being, I guess, a politician is talking to other politicians to get it done. It's not enough that the judge goes and talks to our city manager. Our city manager does run the city, but the ones that steer the ship, turn it in one direction or the other, are council members.
Correct.
And I've never gotten a call from any commissioner saying, let's make this better, let's make that better. I think a good politician, like I say, and I hate to put myself in that category, but talks to other people in the office, and that's the way you get things done, And I think there's a big issue with animals. There's the kids are not being addressed. The quality of life is not where it should be, and that is because there's nobody focusing in that precinct. So I think there's a lot of issues that need to be addressed, and that only comes through hard work and through focusing on issues and problems.
No, and there's a lot of problems, everywhere. There's problems in the school district, there's problems in the city, there's problems in the county, of course, and people need to start stepping up to what they're being elected for. And there's a lot of people that go into office and forget why they went to office. And then 4 years down the road, they start giving out turkeys on Thanksgiving. Here, vote for me again. And they take all the little old folks home to go play bingo and go vote. And that has to stop. People in Laredo and Webb County have to realize that we live in the city.
Yeah.
Okay? We all have to work together. Start electing people that want to work for the city, not just go ahead and sit back. And you can see the type of individual that's working for the city, for their people, and how their district looks. If the district is maintained, if there's construction and they're fixing the roads, then you know that something is being done. But apart from that,
and
it's not. Here I am. I got elected. Now you guys have to kiss my hand. It's go out there and actually talk. And you've been every time I see you in some of these places, you're out there physically shaking hands with people and talking and trying to make better in your district. Hopefully, whoever and whoever wins, and if you get elected, you can bring that to the county.
And that's my focus. Just keep on working hard. I wish I had more time with the city to finish my projects. There's always more projects and money, of course. But I think we need to, we have to preserve our old buildings, and that's one thing. Like that Conseco House. That's an important project. It's we need to preserve our heritage. We need to maintain those old buildings and not knock them down like they did with that courthouse. That was just. That was just really upsetting. That was part of our heritage, and just because they didn't have the money or they wanted parking, so now we have a beautiful parking lot, man, where we had a beautiful courthouse that could have been maintained and redone. There's monies out there. You just need to go look for them, man. It's called work, man. You need to go out and work for it. You need to go talk to your elected officials. There's monies for all kinds of stuff. You just need to focus and you need to work hard, man. And like I say, I wish I had more time here in the city to finish more projects, but we've managed to pave 21 miles of roads in District 3, in my district. So, and it's part of an ongoing project, but I've pushed a lot of that. We've replaced utility water lines on Lane Street, on some other street. But and it just takes focus, and people will tell that's their job. Like our city manager's job is to tell but how do you get that done? You push it and you push it and you work at it, and eventually you'll get it done.
We grew up. We're the same age, we've grew up in Laredo, where many of the streets of Laredo did not have pavement. They were dirt roads.
I remember that.
And you used to drive on dirt roads, and it took a huge change of how can I say, of people that wanted to take the step and move forward to change that. So a lot of these roads are not that old.
Yeah.
Because I remember back in high school, many of the roads here in Laredo were not paved.
Yeah.
Were not paved in a lot of the areas. And so when people say, it's because we have old plumbing and do this, we do not want to be like the old Partido Viejo regimes that occurred in the past, that the money came in and the money went to ranches and houses and so on and so forth and not to the city. We don't want that to happen again. And we need folks that have a little bit of gall to step up and say, you know what, we need to fix this. Let's not play around. Let's change this. And you have taken that leadership for that.
And when you change stuff, when you do things, sometimes you get heat for it, man. But it's part of breaking through. It's part of the new doing new things. Some people might not agree with it, but I'll tell you what, my constituents, the ones that elected me, they agree with all the stuff that we're doing, and they see the change. And one thing I wish I could have gotten to that we didn't, but it's now in federal court, is that old hospital. But something's happening there, whereas before 15 years nothing happened there.
Nothing.
Now it's in federal. Now it's in district court. I'm sorry, and something's happening there. Something will happen. It's probably not gonna be during my tenure, but I planted the seed for something to happen there. So.
And that needs to happen. We have a lot of buildings that we have a lot of history in Laredo. Okay, and you go to some of these places in the hill country and in West Texas and so on and so forth, and they preserve the old buildings that are falling apart, and they've maintained it. Now it's a tourist attraction. Yes. We go downtown and we've lost a lot of that.
Yeah.
We've lost that. Now they want to build some kind of tourist, something that. ¿Dónde? You've already destroyed that historical element.
It's like in the Canizales gym, that firehouse could have, you know what, just knock it down, doesn't look good. It's in disrepair, or the roof needs fixing. Just knock it down. It's an old building. But now it's part of our history, and it's there. It's there to stay. Same thing with that Canseco house, that beautiful French chateau that is going to be a centerpiece there for that area, man. And that's important.
What are the plans for that? I've heard a lot of things. Is it going to be an art thing, a museum? What's going on with it?
Well, my main focus was to save that house, restore it, and then I knew that somebody would come. But now it's really a good project. It's a CSA project, community-supported agriculture. It's going to show people how to maintain their own garden and grow their own garden. They can actually sell the
products,
the fruits and vegetables, etc.
And inside, what's it going to be?
It's modeled after the program that they have in Austin and other cities, but it's still going to maintain its integrity. It's going to be a nice place where we can host, dignitaries, whatever. But I would like to see it maybe turn into a coffee shop in there, something nice. But I'll tell you that it is going to be restored. It's going to be really nice. We're going to put that a baby grand piano back in there. So it's going to be something to admire, something to visit. The gardens are going to be nice. But more than anything, we're preserving a historical building, maintaining its integrity, and it's going to mean a lot for that area. It's going to be a real, very nice building.
Well, you have a lot of, on all that little area there, you have a lot of houses that have become offices and become stores, especially on Chihuahua. And that is the characteristic of that has not been lost,
It's a neighborhood that's coming back. It's like what happens in other cities, You get an old neighborhood and people die, they move out, that area starts to get rented, it starts declining. So that neighborhood, it's on its way back. So now I think it's the prime time to do that neighborhood master plan, so it comes back in a way that it should come back as, you know what I mean? We have a zoning regulations, we have certain things that should happen in that area. So that master plan is next, and the area is excited about it.
Now let's look at, let's turn your focus. What would you like to do if you get elected? What's your first thing that you'd like to change in the district? Is it district or precinct?
The precinct.
In the precinct.
Yeah, the precinct.
Commissioner.
I think what needs a lot of attention and focus is the colonias. Just start with the basics. You need decent roads. You need parks. You need places to play. You need water availability. You need animal control. Your basic services. That's going to take a good amount of time to basically bring that up to par. But that's the main focus right now.
Out of all those colonias, how many? What's the populace there? Más o menos.
The populace is okay. I'll tell you about the votes and all that. Most of the voters come from the city. You get a small population of voters that come from the Quad City. You get a small percentage of voters that come from the Colonias. But it's not the largest population, but I think it's the most important. And I think that is the job of the commissioner to basically take care of that area, make sure that their basic services are met, and that would be the initial focus.
And that precinct goes from where to where? What's the boundaries?
The boundaries are, of course, a big part of the Heights area. It goes down McPherson, Del Mar, and then it spreads out all the way to the Quad City into a couple of the colonias. So, yeah, it's a big
area. It's a big area.
It's a big district. Another thing I didn't mention, Paul, that I did mention that you need to work with other elected officials. A big part of our 7 years here in office is working with the school districts, where we actually we opened the schools, and we put exercise equipment, and we put playscapes in there, where those schools were closed before. So you have park space that didn't exist before that now does exist, and that just comes through, again, hard work and talking to other elected officials and getting that done. An example of that is Ryan Elementary School.
And Ryan Elementary School has weights and everything inside it?
Well, we have a covered area where we have outdoor exercise equipment, and that was the first. It was the first equipment that was outdoors in the city of Laredo. Now everybody, kind of wants that. So, yeah, it just takes hard work and talking to other elected officials. And
when I lived in Dallas, and you used to see Dallas Independent School District work with Dallas officials, and every high school and elementary school at night, they will come in there and they'll push the tables to one side, and they were teaching ballet, guitar, yoga. I used to teach there, Sabbat, and everybody. And here you don't have that. Here the schools are closed.
Yeah.
There's no activity whatsoever. There were programs, and it started as soon as a child left from school at 5 o'clock. There were programs all the way up to 11 o'clock at night, and then the janitors would put everything back in the middle of the night. And that's just the way it was. I remember that. And Dallas Independent School District did that. And you need that because you have a lot of wasted space. You have a lot of neighborhoods that all of a sudden their kids are getting home from school and they're out there running amok, and one thing leads to another. All of a sudden you break one window, you break another, and that needs to stop. And we need to focus ourselves with that type of element. And here, like I said, we have way too many chiefs and no Indians, and all the elected officials, even from the school districts. Nobody has an open mind. It's my way or the highway. I'm not going to help you, because if not, you have to kiss my hand, and that needs to stop. And you have bowed down, and you have gone over there and said, hey, let's all work together. And that is, I commend you for that. Thank you for doing that.
Well, thank you.
Because you have way too many that go in there, and I say that, and really, they forget about the people after the vote.
It's all that school space, all that that's potential park space.
Yeah,
and,
of course.
And you should see the use that Ryan equipment gets, man. It just packed that night.
Ryan, people walk to Ryan. They've been walking there for ages.
Yeah.
Everybody used to go there to run around.
So now it's covered, and we put these really cool lights at night. They turn red and green and all kinds of colors. But it's been a big hit. We're also working on Lamar. I've talked to a few elected officials there and the board members. They're very cooperative, very, all it takes is just talking to them, and I think they've agreed to open up that track that they're going to do in Lamar. But anyway, that's ongoing. That's something that I'm working on. But those guys at LISD are really good board members, and they're doing a good job, and they're definitely open to working.
You have good guys in that area. You have Miss Noyola from the Boys Club.
Yeah.
You have Tito that he was an athlete at one particular time that liked that type of.
He was actually my football coach.
You know what I'm saying? So,
believe it or not.
So there's somebody that actually likes that. So that's interesting. That's great to see.
Yeah.
So what else? What do you say to Laredo?
We say, like I say, Happy New Year, and the elections are coming up in March 3rd, March 4th, something like that. But anyway, if you want to continue, if you want to see a hardworking individual, I think my hard work has spoken for me. All the accomplishments that we've done in the district, I think they'll speak for themselves. And we have meetings right after this show, and we continue the work. I just wish I had a little bit more time to finish what we started. But like I say, you have more projects and money and more projects and time. But we continue to the last day.
And in your area, who will be filling in your shoes? Because you'll be.
I have no idea, Paul. That's
no. Who's running it? Who's running? In other words,
who's running? I have no idea who's running right now. I had no idea that I was going to run here. Till kind of the last minute, and after consulting several people and getting approached.
And the reason I ask is because you can take something that went forward and put somebody that also flips it on the other side.
Yes, that is very true. I mean, people have different ideas, and hopefully whoever gets elected is in touch with the people and what the people want in that district, and
hopefully you can start seeing it goes forward.
Yeah, hopefully it keeps on going forward. And
that's why I ask.
We'll see. We'll see what happens, man.
The best of luck.
Well, thank you.
And
Appreciate
thank you
it.
again for standing up.
No, thank you. Thank you, Sergio. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it.
Until next time, we're back at you. And remember, Councilman Alex Perez is going to step up to the plate, and he's going to run for Precinct 3 of Webb County Commissioner. So the best of luck. And if any other politician wishes to come on board and talk, it's open to everybody. All right? Until next time.